Hi everybody, Bill McCabe here. Welcome to Iron Crane Dojo, and we're going to pick up with some further detail on the very basic movements of stick defense, stick blocking, and stick countering, and how to build from the most basic motions into more fluid motions. So these are the A, B's, and C's, and I still like the way the A, B's, and C's were taught several decades ago by the late J. Kui Broca. He's long since been deceased, but he was a Shotokan master who was also an Arnis master, and he tied a lot of the ideas of the two styles together, recognizing, of course, that several decades ago much of this was in a primitive state, you know, especially as it was evolving in the United States. It's come a long way since then. But the basics, as he laid them out, were a true and tested course for developing the fundamental skills and the fundamental awarenesses of the gates of entry and how to seal those gates before you learned how to move in angular fashion against those gates. So we talked about the 12 basic blocks in response to the 12 basic strikes, and we showed you how they laid out. And I demonstrated with Sensei Terry, you know, more specifically, how they can smooth out over time. But I'm going to show you how you can take that even further, and starting out with the basic blocks and with the basic principles, over time evolve those into clean and fluid motion as the framework for what is to follow. Okay, so let's revisit with the form, the Arnis form number 1, which was demonstrated by Sensei Chris. And I'm going to step to the other side of the room and just do the form in slow motion for you so you can get an idea what it's like. And this, it's basically using the 12 basic blocks and counters. Okay, so block number 1, counter. And because it has the Shotokan inspiration, everything in here is eyes, feet, hands. So after block number 1, the presumption is the eyes sweep the possible field of battle for another attacker. They see an attack coming from this angle with a number 2 strike. I come up, block, counter. Again, eyes, feet, hands. Eyes, feet, hands, 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 and then ends. So go on here closer if you will. So Master Broca is following the Shotokan form, which is basically like an I beam. So the I would look something like this. Stay there. Okay, so bring the camera over to me where I'm at. And this is where I started from. So following my hand, you have the first block, the first counter. Second block, second counter. Third block, third counter. Fourth block, fourth counter. Fifth block, fifth counter. Sixth block, sixth counter. Seventh block, seventh counter. Eighth block, eighth counter. Ninth block, ninth counter. 10th block, 10th counter. 11th block, 11th counter. 12th block, 12th counter. What's happening as you're following this pattern is that you're learning always to sweep your eyes away from where you just acted to the field where the threat is greatest. This pattern is set up to do that. Conceptually, the sides of the pattern, the far sides, are walls. And this was described in the old days as being like in an oriental alley. You've got containment on both sides, so all the action is taking place within 3 or 4 steps of the walls. So that's what this looks like. And when you think about that, that's why when you're moving, your eyes are never turning toward the walls. They're always turning toward the center of the alley so that you have the greatest peripheral vision. Now, very little of this stuff is written up in the books, but if you have good teachers, this is drummed into you over and over. Your eyes move a certain way, your feet follow the eyes, and then the hands follow the eyes and the feet. It's a sequence that ensures everything is going to work smoothly and effectively and quickly, and also that you're not vulnerable to surprise or uncertainty. So, having said that, I'm going to have Terry come over and help me a little bit here. And we're going to map this out. I'm getting everyone's sticks mixed up. So I'm in a starting position. There's a wall behind me, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, and there's a wall on this side. So all the action takes place in this field defined by the 3 steps. Okay? I'm sure you're all with me. It's pretty straightforward, but you just have to keep this in your mind as we go through the action. So I'm in a ready position. Okay, now as I'm here, these forms, by the way, all of the H or I-beam forms start off with an attack to the left. That's just protocol. So I'm here, I'm set. My first glance, since there's no threat here, as I'm standing here in a ready position, I have full field of view here. There's nothing happening. So my first move, because I can see there's nothing here, is I glance to my left, and there's the attacker coming. I move, break angle, react, and counter. So again, I want you to see what that looks like. I have no threat here. I glance to the left. There's an incoming threat. I break angle, capture, and counter. Bring the camera over here. Now you can't see this in a kata as I do it in the air, but you see I'm actually employing control techniques here as part of the technique. You can see how I'm controlling. I'm pinning the hand to the stick and snapping it as I'm countering. Now, step back, don't just stay where you are, but don't do anything. So this is the form with me just practicing it normally. I step, block, and strike. You can sort of see that I'm doing that in the air. So that's my mind. That's what's happening in my thought process. Now, it doesn't always have to be the same move. You can vary this. She comes again here. This time I'm pulling her down and hitting. See, over time, you develop different mentations of the kata, and you take it to different places. That's how you expand your technique in a safe, practiced fashion, but it also develops a clean and effective and fast mentation, which of course is the fastest way to accelerate your responses and your instincts. So, after I take care of this person, there's another person over here. Now, we all know it's still Terry, but she's a different person philosophically. Different attacker. Okay, she's attacker number 2. Hold on though. So as I finish with her, I want you to get this. By the way, in the kata, I told you before, always sweep your vision through the center. So I'm here. I started out with nothing in here on this side, no threats. The first threat was here, was eyes, feet, hands. Okay, this is the last part that my eyes scanned. I have to scan here immediately. Why? Because there's nothing behind me. There's a wall, and there's a wall over there. The most likely point of entry for the next threat is over here somewhere. So as soon as I finish with this person, I glance. First move, eyes, here she comes, feet, hands, counter. Okay? So without her attacking, if I was doing it by myself, just practicing the form, this would be the first move, second move, and we do double strikes on each of these. In the kata, we practice with double strikes, so it would be block, hit, block, hit. As she attacks, I can parry and hit. As she attacks again, I can bring her down and in. As she attacks again, I can parry down and bring her in. All those are different ways of doing the same sequence of moves with different interpretations and different applications. Okay, the counter is always in the same spot. You're doing basically a number 2 strike. Okay, so here, we're getting ready for the third move. I just finished this person, finished this person. I have to occupy my vision to the, direct my vision to the center of the circle to ascertain whether any new threats are coming. As soon as I turn, I see there's a potential threat. She comes in, I block, and counter. Okay. Now she's going to step back. She's going to do a different attack with coming in with an attack to the other side. When you're crossing the circle, you have 3 attackers in a row. And she goes back, comes back again, last one. So let's watch how that works, doing 3 in a row. I'm here, number 2, I glance to the center, attacker's coming. I block, hit. She comes back, 4, hit. Comes back, 5, hit. Every time I do it, I'm mindful of attacking the offender's balance and setting up my counter as clean as I can. Now, I'm going to say this isn't rocket science. This is the basic stuff. So you can look at this and say, well, it doesn't have the speed or the quickness of a fight, and that there's quicker and cleaner and faster and more complicated things you can do. That's true. But without these basics mastered, nothing else is going to be nearly as strong as it has the potential to be. So here, I turn, I block 3, counter. Next attacker, see my eyes, feet, hands. My eyes sight the next attack, eyes, feet, hands. And watch that my eyes are working the whole time as I do the form, within the context of the H pattern and also within the Shotokan tradition. My eyes are working. See it? And they're working now for number 6. She comes, and there's my next area of vulnerability. I'm facing the wall. I just cleared the center so there's nothing behind me. The far side is too far away to be an immediate threat. The only possible threat I have is in that direction. I look. There it is. I break angle. See how I break angle here? In this case, I parry, hit. I didn't have to parry. I can break balance here. I bring her in and hit. Okay? So there's 7 different ways you can do it. In this case, I parry and hit 2. The center's clear. The side's clear. I have to glance to the opposing side, rear my right shoulder, and bring the camera over so you guys can see what I see. As I glance, there's the threat. She comes in. 1, 2, hit. Look at my footwork on this. This is a 2-step angular move. I glance, she comes in. If I step properly, I move to the 0 point of power on her attack. So even if she hits me, it's a minimal hit. But what I do is I take the first step to amplify the block. And you see the block amplified by the second step as I hit. I capture and drive. And come over here and take a look at the angles of this. In Tai Chi Chuan, this would be brush, knee, and push. And you can see my striking is very relaxed compared to what you might see other people doing, because I have the influence of the internal arts after many years of practice. You can see it here. Okay, so she's gone. I've cleared both sides. I have to eye to the center. I eye to the center. Okay, so I just finished 7. There's the vulnerable target. So the next attacker is going low on my body. Okay, so he goes back. Eyes, feet, hands. Low block. Parry. Hit. She goes back. As I approach her, she goes low on my leg. But she can also go back and go low on this leg. It doesn't matter. Either one's a viable target. It's however you want to visualize it. Nothing is written in stone. You're creating your own story. Parry. Just like number 4 on the other side. Now come on back here over my back. I want you to get a good view of this. She goes back. She takes a step back. She's coming in with an angular strike. Watch it. Right to my eye. I want you over my right shoulder here. I want you to see this strike coming in. Now let me do a block. I block. She goes back. As I'm going forward, she's going in to a vital target. That's why you wear safety glasses, by the way. Always wear safety glasses, protective glasses. Goes back. As she comes in, I ride that. Watch my legs now. So I'm going from this position. I call this skateboard. She comes in, and it's like I'm skateboarding. Okay, as I capture her, remember we talked about the X position previously? And the reason for creating the X is so that your hand is properly placed for the next thing you have to do. So here I'm capturing her stick and pulling her into my counter. Okay? Again, she comes in, I capture and drive her in. She comes with number 11, and I'm at the wall here now on this side, and I just finish this person. The next attacker comes in, I'm riding the skateboard again. Okay, can you get the whole move in there? I want you to see my whole body as we do this. So she comes in. Can you see my feet?
Yes.
Okay, good. And I hit. 2. So one more time. You stay right there. I'm back at number 7. I'm bridging the line, the middle again. Number 8 is low. Count. Number 9, low. Count. Number 10, capture, counter. Number 11, capture, counter. Okay, now we're set for the final move, which is number 12. She's back here. Don't do anything yet. Okay, now I've covered all angles, all possibilities here within the form. I have only one threat, one area of threat that remains is to my immediate rear. I can't look over my right shoulder to see my immediate rear because of the move I just did on number 11. I can do a quick glance over my left shoulder and I see a potential attacker. She comes in, my first step is away. As I turn away, I do a clean visual sweep. Hold it right there, clean visual sweep, and I see that indeed it is an attack. I block number 12, strike, counter, just like the technique is supposed to be done. I bow in. Okay, so there you have it. You can see how the 12 basic blocks and the 12 basic strikes evolve into a fluid form, and how that form is a terrific vehicle for you to coalesce these moves to where they become instinctive responses, fluid, meaningful responses for you, but in a way that helps you to step to the next place in terms of efficiency. And we're going to talk more about that in a follow-up video. So hang in there and work this through with your friends and your instructors and see if you have any good results from it. Okay, take care. See you down the line.